Hi everybody, in this video we will go over the cookie order master order problem hints for part B. So before we do any hints for part B, let's go ahead and talk about what it does. So let me get rid of this. Okay, so the remove variety method updates the master order by removing all of the cookie orders in which the variety of cookie matches the parameter cookie var. So you can read the rest of this, but let me just try to quickly explain what's going on. So here we made a master order object called goodies. We're going to add some things to the order. So we have a new cookie order, chocolate chip 1, that's represented by this thing in the list. Then we have another cookie order that's added on called shortbread 5, which is this. We have another new cookie order that's added on called macaroon 2, which is this. And then we have another one called chocolate chip 3, which is this. So far, our list of orders, our list of cookie orders looks like this thing below. So let's say that we call the remove variety method on this list. If we remove the variety chocolate chip, what it's going to do is it's going to get rid of that chocolate chip order and that chocolate chip order so that the only items left on the list are the shortbread and macaroon items. And then it's going to also return 4 because that's the number of boxes that we got rid of. So here, see, this one says we're getting rid of 3 chocolate chip boxes plus 1 more chocolate chip box, totaling 4 boxes. So it'll return 4, which is the number of boxes that were removed. Let's consider another method call. So we have goodies remove variety brownie. So if we call remove variety on brownie, nothing's really going to happen because none of the items in the list are named brownie. So it's going to return 0 and not change anything in the list. So that's what we have to do, is we have to create this method called remove variety. So in this method, one thing to keep in mind is we are going to have to remove items from a list. So remember, as you remove items from the list, everything shifts to the left. So if I were to remove the item chocolate, this chocolate chip item from the list, this is at index 0, this is at index 1, 2, and 3. So again, 0, 1, 2, 3. If I remove the chocolate chip item, then all these other items to the right will slide to the left, and now shortbread will be item 0. So that's something really important to keep in mind as we're doing the problem. Another thing important to keep in mind is, remember, in the master order class, which is where part B is located, we have a list of cookie orders. We have a list of cookie orders called orders. That is what we are going to work with, the list called orders. And since the list of orders is really just a bunch of cookie orders, we have to keep in mind the methods from cookie orders. So let's look at the cookie order class. We have a constructor, we have a method that returns the variety or type of cookie that was ordered, and we have another method that returns the number of boxes that was ordered in that cookie order. So you might need to call some methods or constructors when you are doing this problem. Those are the major hints. I think the main other hints that I can give you are how to remove items from a list. If you think you know how to do this, I would stop the video, try the problem, and then watch the video to check your answers. If not, keep watching the video. I'm going to go on to how to remove items in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's talk about removing items from an array list. So let's say I have some items right here. I'll just get rid of this for the time being. Let's say this is my list. So I've got a bunch of names: Bob, Carla, Sue, and Juno. So let's say we decide to remove an item from the list. By the way, these are items 0, 1, 2, 3. And I want to remove an item from this list. Remember, if you remove an item, so if I remove Carla, what's going to happen is that Carla will get erased, but now Sue and Juno will now become items 1 and 2. So this is something really important to keep in mind as you are removing items from a list. As you are looping through, you will have to watch that index, so really keep that in mind. If you still think you know what to do, go ahead, try the problem out. If not, watch the rest of this video. We will go on in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so let's talk about removing items from an array list. Some things to keep in mind. You cannot remove items from an array because an array will always stay the same size. And you cannot use a for each loop to change any items of the array or the array list. So you cannot use the for each loop to solve this problem. Kind of like when we did the setting items to a certain value, you cannot use a for each loop to change any items of the array or the array list. The only time you can really use the for each loop is to grab items. So grabbing items in a list is fine with the for each loop. Changing items in the list or array is not fine. Let's go back to removal of items. So one way we would do this is, let's look at this list. Let's say we have a list of strings named list. So with this array list, I'll just use my conventional for loop. So if n is 0, n is less than list.size n++. So what I'm trying to do is, if the item in the list is named go away, we are going to remove it. So let's just kind of do a little quick sample here. I'm going to actually remove a line of code, because normally what people would think to do is this. So let's say I have like some items like hi, go away, and go away. Alright, so item 0 is not equal to go away, so we would go on to item 1. Looks good. So we've got 0, 1, 2. Alright, so item 0 is not go away, so let's go on to item 1. Item 1 is go away, so we'll remove it. But what happens is, if we remove the item, we actually do not want to do increment the index, because we would be skipping an item that we would remove, which will cause a problem. So we don't want to n++ all the time. If we remove an item, we actually don't want to increment the index. So that's why if you have n++ here, I would just do n minus to cancel out. So this way, I would just write don't increment the index if you are removing an item. And I'll go ahead and highlight or underline that really quick. This example right here is another way to do the same problem. So this is the same thing using a while loop. So you could say int n equals 0, while n is less than list.size. If the item in the list is equal to go away, remove it, but don't increment the index. Don't increment the index n. But if you do not need to remove an item, then go ahead and increment the index and do n++. So this is one way to do the problem. Feel free to write this down. I want to go over another way to do this that might even be better in 3, 2, 1. So the other way to remove items from the list is to just go backwards. So notice I just start at list.size -1 and go up until including 0, which is the first position. Let's see if this works. Notice I did not have to do any exceptions if I go backwards. Let's try this. Hi, and then go away, go away, go away, yo, yo, and go away. Alright, so when we're doing this problem, let's go ahead and number these really quick. Okay, so let's start at the back now. So the first item is go away. So we will delete that and then n minus minus just like normal. But notice how it didn't skip over any items. So we're good. The next item is not go away. So we just skip it, n minus minus. The next item is not go away. So we skip it, n minus minus. This item is go away, so we remove it, which means the items to the right of it will shift over. But remember, we were on item 2. Item 2, if I n minus minus, it will go to 1. So even if we do end up removing that, then it's still okay, because if I n minus minus, it's not going to skip over this go away, which is what we want. So this works. And so again, if this is go away, I will delete it. If I n minus minus, it goes to 0, but we did not skip over any items, which is good. So this ends up working just fine. So one way to be safer about this is if you want to remove items from the list, try starting by going backward, and then you don't have to worry as much about whether or not to increment the index. Well, that's it for the hints for part B. For the hints to part A, or solutions to each part of this problem, see the other videos. Thank you.